The stars looked different from the bridge of the human ship. Captain Jake Morrison stood at the window, watching the alien vessel approach. It was beautiful in a way that made him nervous. It's too smooth, too perfect, like it had never seen real. "Danger, Captain! They're sending another message," said Lisa Carter from her station. She was the ship's communications expert. She had been working for hours to understand the alien language. Jake turned away from the window. "Want this time? Same thing as before? They want to welcome us to the galaxy. They keep talking about peace and friendship." Maya Rodriguez looked up from her engineering console. "Their ship has no weapons, Captain. I've scanned it 3 times. No shields either. It's like they've never heard of pirates." Dr. Ben Cooper shook his head. "Maybe they don't have pirates. Where they come from?" Jake found that hard to believe. Every world had dangerous people. Every species had to protect itself somehow. But the alien ship floating in front of them looked like it was built for a pleasure cruise, not space travel. "Are you sure about the weapons?" Jake asked. "Positive," Maya said. "The whole ship is made for comfort and speed. I don't think they even have emergency armor." The alien ship was 3 times bigger than their human vessel, but it looked fragile, like a soap bubble that might pop if you touched it wrong. The human ship, by comparison, was built like a fortress. It had to be. Space was dangerous, and humans had learned that lesson the hard way. "Incoming transmission," Lisa announced. "They want to meet face to face." Jake nodded. "Tell them we agree, but we meet on neutral ground." "That asteroid field halfway between our ships? They're asking why we can't just dock with their ship," Lisa said. "'Cause that's how you get killed," Jake replied automatically. Maya and Ben nodded in agreement. It was basic safety protocol that every human learned in Space Academy. Lisa spoke into her headset, translating Jake's words into the alien language. There was a pause, then she looked confused. "They're asking what we mean by get killed. They want to know who would kill us." The 3 humans stared at each other. Ben spoke first. "Do they really not understand the concept of murder? Or theft," Maya added. "Or sabotage. Or any kind of violence." Jake felt a chill run down his spine. Either these aliens were the most innocent species in the galaxy, or they were playing a very dangerous game. "Tell them we'll meet on the asteroid. Standard first contact protocol." An hour later, Jake floated in his spacesuit near a large asteroid. Maya, Ben, and Lisa floated nearby, all armed with standard sidearms and emergency equipment. The alien shuttle approached slowly, making no aggressive moves. The alien ship was even more beautiful up close. It seemed to be made of some kind of crystal that caught and reflected light in amazing ways. As it landed on the asteroid, Jake could see through its transparent walls. The aliens inside looked peaceful enough, but Jake kept his hand near his weapon anyway. The airlock opened, and the aliens stepped out. Jake's first thought was that they looked like walking flowers. They were tall and thin, with skin that seemed to change color in the light. Their faces were soft and round, with large eyes that held no hint of aggression. The lead alien approached slowly, its movements graceful and careful. When it spoke, Jake's translator turned its musical voice into English. "Greetings, travelers from the third world of Sol. I am Ambassador Zephyrinine of the peaceful Cathari delegation. We welcome you to the galaxy with open hearts and minds." Jake stepped forward, keeping his movements slow and non-threatening. "Captain Jake Morrison of the Earth Ship Explorer. This is my crew, Lieutenant Maya Rodriguez, Dr. Ben Cooper, and Communications Specialist Lisa Carter." The alien's eyes widened with what looked like joy. "Such beautiful names we have prepared. Gifts for you, as is our custom." It gestured to another alien who brought forward a container that seemed to be made of the same crystal as their ship. This contained star charts of our local region, translation protocols for 17 different languages, and invitations too. "Visit our most peaceful worlds," Zephyrinine explained. Jake accepted the container carefully. "Thank you. We've brought some gifts as well." He nodded to Maya, who stepped forward with a metal case. "Basic tools, some of our food and information about Earth," Jake explained. The alien looked at the metal case with curiosity. "Such interesting materials. Your people seem to favor very sturdy construction methods. We have to, Maya said. Space is dangerous. Dangerous. Zephyrine tilted its head. In what way? Maya looked at Jake, who nodded. Radiation, meteor impacts, equipment failures, hostile encounters. The usual threats, hostile encounters. The alien skin color shifted to what looked like concern. You mean your people fight among themselves? Oh, sometimes, Jake admitted. But we've gotten better at solving problems peacefully. And these meteors you mentioned, do they strike your ships often? Often enough that we build our ships to survive? Impacts, Maya explained. That's why our hull is so thick. Dr. Ben stepped forward. What about diseases? How do your people handle medical emergencies, diseases? Zephyrine looked confused. I am not familiar with this concept. Ben's jaw dropped. You mean your people don't get sick? Sick? You mean ... unwell? Uncomfortable? The alien looked genuinely puzzled. Infections, viruses, bacteria, parasites, Ben listed. Things that attack your body and make you weak or kill you. The alien's skin color shifted to what looked like horror. Things that ... kill on purpose? Lisa stepped in quickly. Dr. Cooper, maybe we should explain Earth biology later. Zephyrine was already asking more questions. Your world has creatures that kill other creatures. Well, yes, Jake said carefully. Most animals have to eat other animals to survive. It's called a food chain. Food chain. The alien was clearly struggling with the concept. You mean some creatures exist only to be consumed by others? That's how evolution works, Maya explained. Strong survive, the weak get eaten. It makes everything stronger over time. The alien looked at each of the humans in turn. Where do your people fit in this food chain? Jake smiled, not realizing how predatory the expression looked to the peaceful alien. We're at the top. We're what you call apex predators. The silence that followed was uncomfortable. The aliens. Skin had turned a pale color that Jake guessed meant fear or shock. You are ... predators, Zephyrine whispered. We used to be, Jake said, trying to reassure the alien. We mostly eat plants and farm animals. We don't hunt much anymore. Farm animals? The alien's voice was getting higher. Keep creatures specifically to kill and eat them? Ben tried to help. It's not cruel. We take good care of them while they're alive. But then you kill them, the alien said. Well, yes, Ben admitted, but it's quick and painless. The alien delegation was now clustered together, their skin colors shifting rapidly through what looked like a panic spectrum. Zephyrine spoke quickly to his companions in their musical language. Is there a problem? Jake asked. We were told that you were a peaceful species seeking to join the galactic community, Zephyrine said carefully. We are peaceful, Jake. Insisted. We haven't had a major war in over 50 years. But you just described yourselves as predators who kill and eat other living beings. Only animals, Maya said. We don't eat people. The alien's skin color went completely white. You make a distinction between eating people and eating other living creatures. Of course, all four humans said at once. The alien looked like it might faint. On our world, all life is sacred. We eat only plants, and only those that we can harvest without harm. What about the plants? Lisa asked. Don't they count as living beings? They do not feel pain or fear, Zephyrine explained. They do not have consciousness. How do you know? Dr. Ben asked, with scientific curiosity. The alien stared at him. You think plants might suffer when you eat them? Some scientists think. They might, Ben said, but we have to eat something. Of course, the alien agreed. But surely you can eat without killing. Not really, Jake said. Everything we eat is either dead or gets killed when we eat it. Even plants die when you pick them. The alien's legs seemed to give out, and it sat down heavily on the asteroid. Your entire species survives by killing other living things. Pretty much, Jake admitted. It's normal where we come from. Where you come from, the alien repeated. Slowly. Tell me about your world. What is it like? Jake looked at his crew. They all seemed to realize that this conversation was going to get more complicated. Well, Jake began, Earth is a pretty dangerous place. We have predators, poisonous animals, extreme weather, natural disasters, diseases, and about 1,000 different ways to die if you're not careful. The alien skin was now cycling through colors so fast it looked like a rainbow, and your people evolved in this environment. We had two, Maya said. The ones who couldn't adapt died. So you are the survivors, Zephyrinine said quietly. The ones who learned to kill or be killed. We learned to survive, Jake corrected. But yeah, that's basically right. The alien stood up slowly, looking at each human with new eyes. We must return to our ship now. This meeting has been ... educational. As the aliens retreated to their shuttle, Jake turned to his crew. Well, that went well, did it? Lisa asked. They looked terrified. They'll get used to us, Maya said confidently there. Ben was not so sure. I don't think they've ever met a species lick. 2 weeks later, Jake Morrison stood on the surface of Serenity Prime, trying not to laugh. The planet was exactly what its name suggested. Rolling hills of soft, blue-green grass stretched as far as he could see. Small streams of crystal-clear water flowed gently between the hills. The air smelled like flowers and rain. This place looks like a children's book, Maya Rodriguez said quietly, adjusting her scanner. The gravity is about 70% of Earth normal. The atmosphere is perfect. No harmful radiation, no dangerous chemicals, no extreme weather patterns. Dr. Ben Cooper was already taking readings with his medical equipment. I'm not detecting any bacteria or viruses in the air, nothing that could cause disease or infection. Lisa Carter was recording everything with her camera. The locals are coming to greet us, she said, pointing to a group of Cathari, approaching across the meadow. Ambassador Zephyrinine led the group, accompanied by several other aliens wearing robes that seemed to be made of living flowers. They moved with the same graceful slowness Jake had noticed during their first meeting. Welcome to our world, friends from Earth, Zephyrinine said in its musical voice. We have prepared quarters for you in our capital city. We hope you will find everything to your liking. The capital city turned out to be a collection of crystal buildings that looked like they had grown from the ground rather than being built. There were no roads, just paths of soft grass between the structures. Small, fuzzy creatures that looked like living teddy bears wandered freely among the buildings. Those are our companions, explained Harmony 12, the chief engineer who had come to greet them. They help us with simple tasks and provide friendship. Maya watched one of the creatures approach her. It was about the size of a house cat, with big eyes and soft fur. Are they intelligent? They are aware and happy, Harmony 12 replied. They enjoy helping us and being petted. The creature rubbed against Maya's leg, making a sound like a purr. Maya reached down carefully and touched its fur. It was incredibly soft and warm.
Ow.
It's like a living stuffed animal, she said with wonder. What is a stuffed animal? Zephyrinine asked. A toy for children, Lisa explained. We make fake animals out of soft materials for kids to play with. The aliens looked confused. Why would you make fake animals when you could have real ones? Because real animals can be dangerous, Jake said automatically. They might bite or scratch or carry diseases. The group of aliens stopped walking. Your animals attack your children? Army 12 asked in horror. Some do, Jake admitted. That's why we make toys instead. It's safer. But how do your children learn to care for living creatures? Another alien asked. We teach them with pets, Dr. Ben explained. Small, safe animals that we keep in our homes. You imprison animals in your homes? Zephyrine's skin was starting to change colors again. Yeah, we don't imprison them, Maya said quickly. We take care of them. We feed them and play with them and love them. But they cannot leave? The alien pressed. Well, no, Jake said. They might get hurt or lost if they went outside alone. They might hurt something else, Ben added helpfully. The aliens exchanged glances that Jake was beginning to recognize as their version of worried looks. They were shown to their quarters in a building that seemed to be made entirely of transparent crystal. The walls were see-through, offering a perfect view of the peaceful landscape outside. There were no locks on the doors, no security systems, no privacy screens. This is beautiful, Lisa said, looking around the room. But where are the safety features? Safety features. Harmony 12 tilted its head. Locks, alarms, emergency exits. Maya listed. What if someone tries to break in? Why would someone break in? The alien asked. To steal things? Or hurt people? Or... Jake trailed off, realizing how his words sounded. Your people do these things to each other? Harmony 12 was clearly struggling to understand. Some do, Jake admitted. That's why we have police and laws and security systems. The alien's skin turned a pale blue color. You have people whose job is to stop other people from doing harm? That's right, Ben said. Don't you? We have never needed such a thing, Harmony 12 said quietly. Our people do not harm each other. Never? Lisa asked. Never, the alien confirmed. Why would we? Harm brings pain, and pain is unpleasant. It is better to help each other. That evening, they were invited to a feast in the main hall. The food was unlike anything they had ever seen. Fruits that glowed softly, vegetables that looked like jewels, and drinks that changed color as you watched them. This is incredible, Ben said, taking a bite of something that tasted like a mixture of strawberries and sunshine. How do you grow? Food like this. We ask the plants to grow for us, explained a Cathari named Gentle Bloom. We sing to them and care for them, and they provide nourishment in return. You sing to plants? Maya asked. Of course. All living things respond to kindness and attention. Jake looked around the hall. Every Cathari present was eating only plants. Don't you ever want meat? He asked. The reaction was immediate. Every alien in the hall stopped eating and stared at Jake. The temperature seemed to drop several degrees. Meat? Zephyrnine asked carefully. You know, animal flesh, Jake said, not noticing the horrified expressions around him. Beef, chicken, pork, the good stuff? You eat the flesh of dead animals, Gentle Bloom whispered. Sure, Maya said, cutting into what looked like a glowing apple. Humans are omnivores. We eat both plants and animals. The silence that followed was deafening. Dr. Ben looked around nervously. Is something wrong? You kill animals and eat their bodies? Another alien asked. Well, we don't usually kill them ourselves, Lisa said, trying to be helpful. We have people who do that for us. You have people? Whose job is to kill animals? Zephyrnine's voice was barely audible. Butchers and farmers. Jake nodded. They're very skilled at what they do. And you eat these dead animals regularly? Harmony 12 asked. Most days, Ben admitted. Good steak, some chicken, maybe some fish. It's delicious and full of protein. One of the younger aliens made a sound that might have been a sob. Several others had their skins cycling through colors so rapidly it was hard to look at them. On our world, Zephyrnine said slowly, we believe that all life is sacred. We eat only what the plants freely give us. We would never take the life of another creature for food. But you have to eat something, Maya pointed out. And plants are alive too. Plants do not have consciousness, Gentle Bloom explained. They do not feel fear or pain. How do you know? Ben asked with scientific curiosity. We can sense their thoughts, the alien replied. Plants think only of growing toward light and water. Do not have the complex thoughts and emotions of animals. You can read minds? Lisa asked excitedly. We can sense the basic emotions and intentions of most living things, Zephyrnine confirmed. It is how we know that the companion creatures are happy, and how we know that plants do not suffer when we harvest their fruit. Jake felt a chill run down his spine. Can you read our minds? We have been trying not to, the alien admitted. Your thoughts are very loud and very disturbing. It's disturbing how? Maya asked.
Oh.
You think about violence constantly? Harmony 12 said. Even now, in this peaceful place, part of your mind is watching for threats, planning escape routes, identifying potential weapons. Jake realized the alien was right. Even sitting in this beautiful, safe place, he was automatically cataloging exits and keeping track of where his equipment was. It was instinctive. That's just survival training, he explained. We're taught to always be ready for danger. But there is no danger here, Gentle Bloom said. Why can you not simply relax and enjoy the peace? Because peace doesn't last, Maya said automatically. Something always goes wrong eventually. Such a sad way to live, one of the younger aliens said. Always expecting the worst. It's kept us alive for thousands of years, Ben pointed out. But at what cost? Zephyrnine asked. You cannot enjoy the beauty around you because you are always preparing for threats that may never come. Threats always come, Jake said quietly. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but eventually something tries to kill you. That's just how the universe works. Not our universe, Harmony 12 said. Our galaxy has been at peace for over 1,000 years. 1,000 years? Lisa asked in amazement. No wars? No conflicts? No violence at all? None, Zephyrdine confirmed. The Galactic Harmony Council ensures that all disputes are resolved peacefully. We have learned that cooperation is always better than conflict. But what about criminals? Ben asked. Pirates? Thieves? Murderers? We have no such people, Gentle Bloom said. Why would anyone choose to harm others when it is so much easier to help them? Because some people are just bad, Maya said. Some people enjoy causing pain. No one enjoys causing pain, the alien replied. Pain is unpleasant. If someone is causing pain, it is because they are confused or hurt themselves. You really believe that? Jake asked. We know it, Zephyrdine said. We can sense the emotions of those around us. We have never encountered anyone who takes pleasure in the suffering of others. Then you've never met a human psychopath, Ben said grimly. A what? Several aliens asked at once. A person who doesn't feel empathy, Ben explained. Someone who can hurt others without feeling bad about it. Such people exist? Harmony 12 asked in horror. Dr. Crystalline voice floated in the center of the emergency assembly hall, her translucent body shimmering with nervous energy. Around her, representatives from 47 different species waited in anxious silence. The Galactic Harmony Council had not called an emergency session in over 300 years. Honored delegates, she began, her voice creating soft musical tones that filled the vast chamber. We have a problem, a very serious problem. Counselor Gentlewing, of the Peaceful Avians, ruffled his feathers nervously. Surely it cannot be that serious, Doctor. Crystalline voice. The humans seemed pleasant enough in the initial reports. That is exactly the problem, the doctor replied, her form flickering with distress. The humans are not what we thought they were. They are not what anyone could have imagined. She gestured to the large display screen that dominated one wall of the chamber. Images of Earth appeared, showing blue oceans, green continents, and swirling white clouds. This is the human homeworld, she announced. At first glance, it appears to be a standard Class M habitat, similar to hundreds of other worlds that have produced intelligent life. But our analysis was wrong. Terribly, catastrophically wrong. The screen changed to show a series of charts and graphs. Numbers flashed across the display in bright red colors. The planet they call Earth is not a Class M world, Dr. Crystalline voice continued. It is a Class L Deathworld. The reaction was immediate. Gasps and cries of alarm filled the chamber. Several delegates stood up in shock. Class 12 Deathworlds were theoretical nightmares, planets so hostile that most scientists believed intelligent life could never evolve there. That is impossible, declared Counselor Purethought of the Telepathic Collective. No species could survive on a Class 12 world, let alone develop civilization. And yet they did, Dr. Crystalline voice replied grimly. Let me show you the evidence. The screen displayed a new set of data. The surface gravity is 30% higher than galactic standard. For most of our species, this would be crushing. The humans evolved under this pressure, which is why their bones are so dense and their muscles so powerful. She paused, letting the information sink in. The atmosphere contains 21% oxygen. For comparison, most of our worlds have oxygen levels between 3 and 7%. At Earth levels, oxygen becomes a corrosive poison that would kill most of us within hours. But surely, interrupted Counselor Softsong of the Gentle Melodies, they must have evolved in protected areas away from these dangers. No, Dr. Crystalline voice replied. They evolved in open grasslands, exposed to all of these hazards. But that is not the worst part. The screen changed again, showing images of Earth's weather patterns. Massive storms swirled across the planet's surface. Lightning flashed through dark clouds. Tornadoes carved paths of destruction across the landscape. The planet experiences violent weather patterns that would be classified as natural disasters on any civilized world. Hurricanes with wind speeds exceeding 200 kilometers per hour. Tornadoes that can level entire cities. Blizzards that bury the landscape under meters of frozen water. Frozen water? Asked Counselor Warm Embrace of the Comfort Seekers. You mean ice? Yes, The planet's temperature varies so wildly that water regularly freezes solid across vast areas. In some regions, the temperature drops so low that exposed skin would freeze within minutes. The delegates were becoming increasingly agitated. Several species had huddled together for comfort, while others were making distressed sounds. The planet's surface is 70% covered by oceans of liquid water containing dissolved salt. Dr. Crystalline voice continued. This creates a corrosive environment that would burn the skin of most species. The humans not only survive contact with this substance, they actively seek it out for recreation. Recreation? Counselor Gentlewing sounded horrified. They swim in it, the doctor explained. They play in it. They use it to clean themselves. But surely the land areas are safer, asked another delegate. Land areas are worse, Dr. Crystalline voice replied. The planet has active volcanism. With mountains that spew molten rock and poisonous gases, the continents sit on moving plates that shift and crash into each other, causing earthquakes that can topple buildings. She gestured to the screen again. But even that is not the most dangerous aspect of this world. The most dangerous aspect is the life forms. The screen filled with images of Earth's animals. Lions stalked across African plains. Sharks glided through dark waters. Bears stood on their hind legs, showing massive claws and teeth. The planet is dominated by predatory species, Dr. Crystalline voice explained. Creatures that exist solely to hunt and kill other creatures. Some of these predators are larger than our vehicles. Others are so small they can enter the body through the breathing system. The humans evolved alongside these monsters, Counselor Purethought asked in amazement. They evolved to compete with them, the doctor corrected. Analysis of human biology shows that they are persistence hunters. They would chase prey across vast distances until their targets collapsed from exhaustion. Then they would kill them with tools. Tools? Several delegates asked at once. Weapons, Dr. Crystalline voice clarified. The humans began making instruments of death almost as soon as they developed intelligence. Spears, knives, clubs, bows, guns. Their entire technological development has been driven by the need to kill more efficiently. The chamber fell silent. The idea of a species that had built its civilization around killing was almost impossible to comprehend. But they seemed so peaceful, Counselor Softsong protested weakly. They are peaceful compared to their environment, Doctor, Crystalline voice replied. But by galactic standards, they are living weapons. Their bones are denser than our strongest building materials. Their muscles can generate forces that would crush most of us. Their immune systems are designed to fight biological warfare. She paused, looking around the chamber. That is just their physical capabilities. Their mental capabilities are even more concerning. The screen displayed brain scans and psychological profiles. Human brains are hardwired for tactical thinking. They automatically assess threats, plan escape routes, and identify potential weapons in any environment. They cannot turn this off. Even in the safest possible circumstances, they are planning for violence.
I wonder.
They carry weapons, Counselor Gentlewing said quietly. They probably feel naked without them. They do not just carry weapons, Dr. Crystalline voice continued. They have turned their entire bodies into weapons. They practice combat sports for entertainment. They train their children to fight. They have military organizations whose sole purpose is to become better at killing. Military organizations? asked Counselor Warm Embrace. Groups of humans who specialize in warfare, the doctor explained. They spend their lives learning to kill more efficiently and to coordinate their killing with other humans. But why? Asked Counselor Purethought. Why would they need such things? Because on their world, if you cannot kill, you will be killed, Dr. Crystalline voice replied. Everything on Earth is trying to kill everything else. The weather, the animals, the plants, the microscopic life forms, even other humans. The only way to survive is to be more dangerous than everything else. The chamber was completely silent now. The delegates were struggling to process the information they had been given. Are you saying, Counselor Softsong asked slowly, that the humans are the apex predators of a world full of apex predators? That is exactly what I am saying, Doctor. Crystalline voice confirmed. They are the most dangerous species on the most dangerous planet anyone has ever discovered. and they have just achieved interstellar travel. What do we do? Asked Counselor Gentlewing. Some of our member species are calling for immediate quarantine of their solar system, the doctor replied. Others want to establish diplomatic relations immediately, hoping to avoid conflict. The militant Rackery are requesting permission to send a delegation to study human combat techniques. And the humans themselves? Asked Counselor Purethought. What do they want? According to Ambassador Zephyrnine's reports, they want to explore the galaxy and make friends, Dr. Crystalline Voice replied. They seem genuinely interested in peaceful contact. But can we trust them? Counselor Warmbrace asked. How can we know they will not turn violent? We cannot, the doctor admitted. But we also cannot ignore them. They have faster-than-light travel, advanced technology, and the survival instincts of a species that has spent millions of years fighting for its life. If we make them our enemies, we will not survive the encounter. So we must make them our friends, Counselor Gentlewing concluded. If that is possible, Dr. Crystalline Voice agreed. But we must understand what we are dealing with. These are not peaceful explorers seeking enlightenment. These are survivors of a world that tried to kill them every day of their lives. They are probably the most dangerous species in the galaxy. And they think they are the normal ones, Counselor Purethought observed. They do not know any other way to live, the doctor confirmed. From their perspective, we are the strange ones. We are the species that somehow survived without becoming killers. What does that make us in their eyes? Asked Counselor Softsong. Pray, Dr. Crystalline Voice replied quietly. The news spread through the galaxy like wildfire. Within 3 days, every civilized world had heard about the Deathworld humans. The reactions were as varied as the species themselves. The gentle philosophers of Wisdom Prime immediately called for a complete quarantine of the Sol system. They published papers explaining why contact with such a dangerous species could corrupt the peaceful nature of galactic civilization. The warrior caste of the militant Rackery had the opposite reaction. For the first time in centuries, they found themselves excited about something. They sent formal requests to the Galactic Harmony Council, asking for permission to visit Earth and study human combat techniques. The ethereal collective went into deep meditation, trying to understand how such a violent species could claim to want peace. Their most wise minds spent days in silent contemplation, searching for answers that might not exist. But it was the fearful mice, people of timid world, who had the strongest reaction. They immediately began building underground bunkers and demanded that the council assign them protective escorts. The idea that there were beings in the galaxy who hunted for sport was too terrifying for them to handle. Captain Jake Morrison knew none of this. He was sitting in the communication center on Serenity Prime, trying to understand why every alien he talked to seemed nervous around him. The council wants to speak with you, Lisa Carter announced, adjusting the long-range communicator. They're setting up a direct link from the capital. All of them? Jake asked. That seems like overkill for a simple diplomatic meeting. 47 different species want to talk to us, Lisa confirmed. I've never seen anything like it. They're treating this like the most important conversation in galactic history. Maya Rodriguez looked up from her engineering station. Maybe they're just excited to meet us. We are the first new species they've encountered in a long time. Dr. Ben Cooper was less optimistic. Maybe they're scared of us. I've been monitoring their communications, and I'm picking up a lot of stress signals. Scared of us? Jake laughed. We're 4 humans on a peaceful diplomatic mission. What could they possibly be afraid of? The answer came an hour later, when the communication link was established. The massive holographic display showed dozens of alien faces, all looking at Jake with expressions he was beginning to recognize as fear. Captain Morrison began a familiar voice. Ambassador Zephyrnine appeared on the screen, his skin cycling through nervous colors. Thank you for accepting this communication. The council has many questions. I'm happy to answer them, Jake replied. What would you like to know? We want to know about your intentions, said a new voice. A bird-like creature with brilliant blue feathers stepped forward. Our analysis of your homeworld has raised certain concerns. What kind of concerns? Asked, we have learned that your planet is far more dangerous than we initially believed, another alien explained. This one looked like a living crystal, light flickering through its transparent body. We need to understand why you have come to our galaxy.
Oh.
To explore, Jake said simply. To learn about other species and share knowledge. To make friends. But you carry weapons, accused a third alien, this one resembling a floating jellyfish. Why do explorers need weapons? Jake looked at his sidearm, then back at the screen. For protection? Space is dangerous. You never know what you might run into. What do you expect to run into? Counselor Gentlewing asked carefully. Pirates, hostile aliens, dangerous animals, equipment failures, medical emergencies, Jake listed. The usual stuff. You expect to encounter pirates? Several aliens asked at once. Well, not necessarily, Jake said. But it's better to be prepared. That's just common sense. The aliens exchanged glances. On our world, Zephyr9 explained, we have not had pirates for over 1,000 years. We have not had any kind of violence for just as long. Not at all? Dr. Ben asked in amazement, unconfirmed the crystal alien. We have learned that cooperation is always better than conflict. That's great, Jake said. We help them understand why cooperation is better, Counselor Gentlewing replied. And if they still don't want to cooperate, Maya pressed. That has never happened, the jellyfish alien said. All intelligent beings eventually understand that. Helping each other is better than fighting. All intelligent beings you've met so far, Jake corrected. But you haven't met humans before. That is exactly our concern, Zephyr9 said quietly. Your species is unlike anything we have encountered. You come from a world where violence is normal, yet you carry weapons as a matter of course. You assume that conflict is inevitable.
Oh.
Because it usually is, Jake replied.
Oh.
Look, I'm not saying we want to fight. We'd rather talk things out. But sometimes talking doesn't work. When does talking not work? Asked the crystal alien. When you're dealing with people who don't care about talking, Ben explained. Criminals, fanatics, people who are mentally ill. Sometimes you have to use force to protect innocent people. Your species includes individuals who cannot be reasoned with, Counselor Gentlewing asked. Some of them, Jake confirmed. Don't all species have people like that? No, came the unanimous reply from dozens of aliens. The silence that followed was uncomfortable. Jake was beginning to understand why the aliens seemed so nervous. Are you saying, he asked slowly, that every member of every species in your galaxy is completely peaceful and reasonable? Yes, Zephyr9 confirmed. We have never encountered a species that includes violent individuals. What about mental illness? Dr. Ben asked. Chemical imbalances in the brain that can cause irrational behavior? We have techniques for correcting such problems, the jellyfish alien explained. They are rare, and they are icily treated. What? About greed? Maya asked. People who want more than they need? Why would anyone want more than they need? The crystal alien asked. Excess resources would just be wasted. What about anger? Lisa asked. People who lose their temper and do stupid things? We have learned to control our emotions, Counselor Gentlewing replied. Anger is counterproductive. Jake stared at the screen. You're telling me that in your entire galaxy, there are no criminals, no violent people, no one who causes trouble? For over 1,000 years, Zephyr9 confirmed. We thought this was normal. We thought all intelligent species eventually learned to live in peace. And then you met us, Jake said grimly. And then we met you, the alien agreed. A species that still includes violent individuals. A species that carries weapons and assumes conflict is inevitable. Species that evolve by killing other species. We're not killers, Maya protested. We're explorers. You are both, the crystal alien observed. That is what makes you so difficult to understand. Dr. Ben leaned forward. What exactly are you afraid we're going to do? We do not know, Counselor Gentlewing admitted. We have no experience with violent species. We do not know how to predict your behavior. Try treating us like normal people, Jake suggested. We're not that complicated. But you are not normal by our standards, Zephyr9 said. You are dangerous. Your bodies are weapons. Your minds are programmed for violence. Your entire civilization is built around surviving in a hostile environment. And you think that makes us a threat? Lisa asked. We think that makes you unpredictable, the jellyfish alien replied. We have built our civilization on the assumption that all intelligent beings want peace. If that assumption is wrong, our entire way of life could collapse. Jake was quiet for a long moment. What do you want from us? We want to understand. You, Counselor Gentlewing said. We want to know if you can live peacefully among us, or if your presence will bring violence back to our galaxy. We can live peacefully, Jake promised. We want to live peacefully, but we won't be helpless. What does that mean? Asked the crystal alien. Means we'll defend ourselves if we have to, Maya explained. We'll defend our friends too. If someone threatens you, we'll help you. But what if your idea of defense is different from ours? Zephyrin asked. What if your methods are too violent for us to accept? Then we'll adapt, Jake said. We're good at adapting. That's how we survived on Earth. And if you cannot adapt, pressed the jellyfish alien. Jake looked at his crew, then back at the screen. Then I guess we'll have to find our own way in the galaxy. That would be unfortunate, Counselor Gentlewing said. We'd like to be friends. So would we, Jake replied. But friendship has to work both ways. You can't ask us to pretend we're something we're not. We're not asking you to pretend, Zephyr said. We are asking you to prove that a violent species can choose peace. And if we can't prove it, Ben asked, then we will have to protect ourselves from you, the crystal alien said quietly. The communication ended abruptly, leaving the four humans staring at a blank screen. Well, Jake said after a moment, that went better than expected, did it? Lisa asked. They basically just told us we're on trial. The whole galaxy is watching us, Maya added, waiting to see if we're going to turn violent. No pressure, Ben muttered. Jake stood up and walked to the window. Outside, the peaceful landscape of Serenity Prime stretched to the horizon. Fuzzy companion creatures played in the grass. Streams flowed gently between the hills, and the purple sun cast everything in a soft, warm light. 6 months had passed since the emergency session of the Galactic Harmony Council. Captain Jake Morrison stood on the bridge of the human ship Explorer, watching a very different galaxy than the one he had first encountered. The change had started. Small. A distress call from a Cathari merchant vessel that had suffered a catastrophic engine failure near a dangerous asteroid field. The local rescue services said it would take 3 days to reach them, but the crew only had oxygen for 2. Jake had made the decision in seconds. Set course for their location. Maximum speed. Captain Lisa Carter had protested. We're not supposed to interfere in galactic affairs. The council specifically asked us to keep a low profile. I'm not going to let people die because of politics, Jake had replied. They had reached the merchant vessel in 18 hours. Maya Rodriguez had spacewalked to the disabled ship and repaired their engine in 40 minutes, a job that would have taken alien engineers 6 hours. The Cathari crew had been saved, and word of human efficiency had spread. The second incident had been more serious. Pirates had attacked a peaceful trading station in the Gentle Spiral sector. The local security forces had no idea how to handle violent criminals. Since they had not existed in their society for over 1,000 years, by the time Jake's ship had arrived, the pirates had taken hostages and were demanding tribute from every ship in the system. The local authorities were completely helpless. This is Captain Morrison of the human vessel Explorer, Jake had announced over the communication system. Release the hostages immediately and surrender yourselves. The pirate leader had laughed. One little ship cannot stop us, human. We have heard you are dangerous, but we are not afraid. You should be, Jake had replied calmly. The battle had lasted exactly 12 minutes. The human ship had disabled the pirate vessels without firing a single shot. Jake had used tactics that the pirates could not understand, anticipating their moves and countering them before they could act. When the pirates had finally surrendered, they had been more confused than angry. How did you defeat us so easily? Their leader had asked. We've been dealing with people like you for thousands of years, Jake had explained. You're not that original. But the real turning point had come when the galaxy faced its first external threat in over a millennium. The entities had appeared at the edge of the galaxy without warning. They called themselves the Devourers, and they had conquered dozens of other galaxies before arriving at this one. They were everything the peaceful species had nightmares about: ruthless, violent, and completely immune to diplomatic solutions. The first contact had been a disaster. Ambassador Zephyrinine had tried to communicate with them, offering trade agreements and cultural exchanges. The Devourers had responded by destroying 3 entire star systems and sending a simple message: submit or be consumed. The Galactic Harmony Council had panicked. They had no military, no weapons, no idea how to fight. They'd built their entire civilization on the assumption that all intelligent beings could be reasoned with. "We need help," Counselor Gentle Wing had admitted during an emergency communication with Jake. "We do not know how to protect ourselves." "What do you want us to do?" Jake had asked. "We want you to teach us how to fight," the bird-like alien had replied. "We want you to show us how to survive." "I thought we were too dangerous to be trusted," Maya had pointed out. "You are dangerous," Zephyrinine had confirmed. "But the Devourers are more dangerous. At least you want to protect people. They only want to destroy." The training had begun immediately. Jake had worked with the Galactic Defense Force, teaching them basic combat tactics and strategic thinking. Maya had helped them design ships that could actually survive in battle. Dr. Ben had taught them battlefield medicine, explaining how to treat injuries that their peaceful society had never experienced. Lisa had become the galaxy's first war correspondent, helping coordinate communications between dozens of different species who had never worked together in a military capacity. The first battle had been a nightmare. Peaceful species had tried to fight like humans, but they did not have the instincts for violence. They hesitated when they should have acted, tried to negotiate when they should have fired, and broke formation when they should have held the line. The Devourers had crushed them. "We cannot do this," Counselor Gentlewing had said after the devastating defeat. "We are not built for war." "No," Jake had agreed. "You're not. But you don't have to be." "What do you mean?" Zephyrinine had asked. "You're not warriors," Jake had explained, "but you're brilliant at everything else. You can build better ships, design better weapons, coordinate better strategies. You just need someone else to do the actual fighting." "You mean you," the crystal alien had said. "You mean us," Jake had corrected. "Humans fight. You support. Together, we can beat them." The next battle had been different. The alien fleets had stayed back, using their superior technology to provide support and supplies. The human ships had done the fighting, using tactics and strategies that the Devourers had never encountered. This time, the peaceful species had won. The war had lasted 3 months. The Devourers had been powerful, but they had made the same mistake that bullies always made. They had underestimated their enemies. They had expected the peaceful galaxy to be easy prey, and they had not prepared for humans. Jake had used every trick he had learned from thousands of years of human warfare. He had set traps, used deception, struck at unexpected targets, and coordinated attacks that confused and overwhelmed the enemy. The final battle had taken place near the Galactic core, where the Devourer fleet had tried to make a last stand. Jake had led a combined force of human and alien ships in a coordinated assault that had destroyed the enemy command vessel and scattered their remaining forces. The Devourers had retreated to whatever dark corner of the universe they had come from, leaving the galaxy in peace once again, but it was a different kind of peace now. The species that had known only cooperation and harmony for over 1,000 years now understood that there were things in the universe that wanted to destroy them. "We owe you our lives," Counselor Gentlewing had said during the victory celebration. "Without your help, we would have been destroyed." "You don't owe us anything," Jake had replied. "We're all in this together now." "But we do owe you something," Zephyrinine had insisted. "We owe you an apology. We were wrong about you. We thought you were monsters because you were capable of violence. We did not understand that violence could be used to protect instead of destroy." "A lot of humans don't understand that either," Dr. Ben had observed. "It's something we have to learn." "And you have learned it," the crystal alien had said. "You have shown us that strength and compassion are not opposites. You have shown us that sometimes the only way to preserve peace is to be willing to fight for it." Now, 6 months later, Jake stood on the bridge of the new human ship Defender, watching a mixed fleet of human and alien vessels patrol the galaxy's borders. The humans provided the muscle, while the aliens provided the technology, logistics, and coordination. It was not the relationship that either species had expected, but it worked. Captain Lisa announced from her communication station, "We're getting a signal from the outer rim. Unknown vessels approaching the galaxy." Jake felt the familiar tension in his shoulders. "How many?" "Looks like a small fleet, maybe a dozen ships. Are they hostile?" Maya asked from her engineering station. "Unknown," Lisa replied. "They're not responding to our communications." Jake looked at his crew. They were all thinking the same thing. It might be another invasion, another threat to the peaceful galaxy they had sworn to protect. "Set course to intercept," Jake ordered, "and send a message to the council. Tell them we're investigating." "It's already done," Lisa confirmed. "Nice. They're sending a diplomatic team to meet us there." "Good," Jake said. "Maya, what's the status of our weapons?" "All systems ready," Maya reported. "But Captain, what if they're peaceful? What if they're just explorers like we were?" Jake smiled. "Then we'll welcome them to the galaxy. We'll show them around, introduce them to our friends, and help them find their place among the stars." "And if they're not peaceful?" Dr. Ben asked. "Then we'll do what we always do," Jake replied. "We'll protect our friends and our home." The ship jumped to faster than light speed, carrying its crew toward another encounter with the unknown. Behind them, the galaxy continued its daily life. Secure in the knowledge that someone was watching over them, the peaceful species had learned that there were monsters in the universe, but they had also learned that there were guardians as well. They had discovered that the humans who had once terrified them were not their enemies, but their protectors, and the humans had learned something. Too, they had learned that their capacity for violence did not make them evil. It made them necessary. Jake Morrison had come to the galaxy seeking humanity's place among the stars. He'd found it, but not in the way he had expected. Humanity's place was not as students or teachers, not as conquerors or servants. Humanity's place was as guardians of the peace, protectors of the innocent, and defenders of those who could not defend themselves. It was a role that no one had expected, but it was a role that fit perfectly. The galaxy had gained not just new members, but new protectors.